everyone, you're watching VGO 40 and this is VGO Girl, and today we're taking a look at World of Kings, Cyris Ruins in normal mode. And this is our first run through of this, so please check the description for update notes, and if there's major differences I will do an update video to this. Okay, clear all the mobs up to the boss, and then we'll go over the setup for the raid. Okay, first off, markers. There's a purple number 1 behind the boss. Off to the side here you'll see a green number 2, and on the other side of the raid there is a yellow moon and a Roman numeral 3. Okay, we're going to start off tanking the boss at Roman numeral 1. There'll be adds that come out and you'll split them with 3 tanks at Roman numeral 1, 2, and 3. After you kill the mobs, then you're going to tank the boss at the yellow moon. Then there'll be another round of adds, and then where you split them again to 1, 2, and 3, and then you'll go back to the moon. Okay, the raid leader should organize the raid into columns. The first 2 columns are group 1, second 2 group 2, and third 2 are group 3, so that way you know which Roman numeral to go to. Okay, here we are at Roman numeral 1. You'll notice also the tanks have markers over the head. I have a green one corresponding with the green number 2 because I'm taking my ad to number 2. Okay, starting off with the tanks. The tanks need to switch as you do with most things. You'll get a stack that is 5. At 5 you have to switch to the next tank. However, it's important that the tanks that are not currently tanking stand behind the boss. If tanks stand in front of the boss, they are going to get the stacks as well. So make sure you stand behind the boss if you are not the main tank. Okay, see these purple lines? Everybody's stacked behind the boss, necromancers behind them, and do fade to mist to block the attack from the mobs that are in the center. Okay, switching perspectives. Up next, there'll be a red text above someone's head. Here you can see our raid leader has red text above his head. Move back to a marker off to the side to drop purple puddles. Now, just like in Dragon Sky Adventure, the back 2 people will get the markers over their heads and need to move off to the side. Okay, up next is a share damage. So everyone just stand behind the boss and share damage. Okay, after share damage are these bluish purple rings where everyone just separates. This is this normal mechanic that you are used to, and you can see that here. Up next, the boss will move to the center, and the 3 adds that need to be split will spawn. So here you see him moving to the center. Okay, we had another purple line phase. You can kind of see that here where the necromancers need to block the attack coming from the center. At this point you can see the adds. Now I don't have any great tips for how to separate them out. I just toggled through them until I found the one marked soul, which is the one I was supposed to pull. Then I pulled him back over to the Roman numeral 2 so that the DPS could attack him. Now once your ad is down, you can go over and help any other teams that need help with their ads still. Just keep an eye out for any AoE attacks that you saw there in the background. Now once the ads are down, the boss is going to come back and you need to pull him over to the moon instead. Now here you'll see this ice phase, and the ice phase puts this like line of ice through the middle. You're going to break what we did was break the second block of ice here. That way other people could get through and you could cross the center line of that zone. So here you can see where we had broken through that center in the background. Okay, now that we've covered most of the DPS, let's go over tanks for just a minute. Okay, in your raid window you'll see that the 3 tanks are listed at the top. There is a little buff in our next to our name that shows a counter. That counter is what you want to keep an eye on when you're tanking. The person before you, when they reach the counter of 5, you need to switch and tank for them. And then here you can see oh no, here I'm still tanking. When the next person takes over tanking, you need to make sure that you move around to the side so that you are not in front of the boss. Right now we have 2 tanks in front of the boss, which is not correct. We need to make sure that the other tank is behind the boss so that they don't get stacks until it's their turn to taunt. Okay, I also didn't notice this before, but you'll see that there's a message for healers to restore the hit points of all players now. So healers, just keep an eye out for any messages that are for you in addition to trying to keep everybody else alive. Okay, back to DPS. We are going to do another round of the the furthest players getting the purple puddles. So just make sure to take those off to the side so that you do not hit the raid with those. Now there's another mechanic that's going to happen to, I think, only some of the players. So you will get like sucked out of your body and turned into this little ghost-like thing, and you can see kind of the line, the tether. You're going to need to follow that line tether thing to your body so that you can then be able to attack again. So here, there's that mechanic there. Okay, up next, the boss moves to the center, and there's another round of the 3 spawns that appear. Now I again just toggled through them until I found the one marked soul and then pulled him back to the marker that I was designated to go to. Now for this, I wasn't able, because of the wall, to get all the way over to the marker. I just pulled it back as close as I could to the DPS so that they were able to still burn this guy down. Okay, again, now we go back to the moon to tank the boss over there. Now at this point, this is kind of like the 3rd phase of the fight. You're going to end up with with the ground being icy. So whenever you move, you slide. So it's really best to get into a good spot and stay there. So range DPS, I think you might have easier time because you can just stop and stay. I had a hard time because I either slid in front of the boss where I wasn't supposed to be, or too far away to attack. So just kind of get into a good spot and stay there if you can. Okay, even though the developers seem to have a weird sense of humor with throwing more and more mechanics at us, at least they seem to give us a break to get into a good spot before they start throwing more mechanics at us. And you can see here again, we're switching tanks on and off. Now, at this point, coming up next, we're going to go ahead and find the next round of purple puddles. Okay, at this point, I don't see any additional mechanics, so I think that we're just going to continue to DPS the boss and switch tanks until the next phase, when there is a part where again you get sucked out of your body and then have to go find it. Okay, and after that we just continued to DPS the boss until we were able to finally defeat him. Hopefully I covered all the mechanics for this fight. If I find anything else that is useful, I will certainly put it into the description. Again, please check there. And we will see you next time in World of Kings.